Hi guys, yeah, Bones here. I just thought I'd show you my 3D printer that I picked up a couple of weeks ago off Amazon. It's an Ender 3 and I believe they do a 3D Pro now as well. I'm not sure what the difference is, and it was 200 quid, and for the money I think it's excellent value. I don't think you can go wrong. If you're thinking of a 3D printer for your first time, check out the Ender 3. I picked this because it got some really good reviews on YouTube and places like that. There's tons of them out there now, but this one seemed to come out on top, so I chose this. I've just obviously got to say I'm not paid by YouTube or Ender or anyone at all to do a review or talk about it. This is just my own personal experiences as a first time user of a 3D machine. So when you get this machine, it comes pretty much, well, a lot of it built. Certainly the bed unit and this is all built for you. You've got to put the stands on and the top bar and a few other bits and bobs, but that's it. It's all clearly labelled. You have to put things like these end stop micro switches on, but these little toggles tell you where to clip stuff. When you get the machine, there's a little bit of setting up with the bed levelling and getting the slop out of the runners, which there was on mine, but that's an easy enough process by using by tightening or loosening these nuts, which brings the wheels in and out. Obviously you want no slop in these, but you don't want them over tight. You don't want them binding, but you don't want them super sloppy, so there's play in the system. So one of the most important things, well, the most important thing to do once you get a machine like this is to level the bed, and that's quite a simple process of sending the head unit to the home unit, which will park it there. This is your Z axis micro stop, so once that's parked there, this bed is then, this head is in position to start leveling the bed. What you would then do is disable the stepper motors in here, and that allows you to move the bed up and down and this axis back and forth there, and from that point you can tighten the knurled screws on the bed itself, which lowers the bed, bring this head unit over to each point in turn, and then raise the bed again to a specific height. Now the specific height is a paper thickness of a piece of paper so it doesn't have to be super accurate, but it has to be accurate enough to A, not touch the nozzle on the bed, or B, not have it too far away that it squirts filament just randomly on the bed and it doesn't stick to the bed, you'll just get loose filament. So you turn these knurled screws until the paper can just slide in between the nozzle and the bed with a little bit of friction. You do that a few times. It's a bit of a faff to start with, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy enough. And once it's set, it's pretty much set there until if you do start having problems, that's one of the things you will then check. So I've not had any major issues with this. I did try some different filament the other day. It's like a marble effect filament, and for some reason the machine didn't like it, and I'm not sure if I had the filament in the wrong temperature or what, but it jammed the nozzle. Now putting a new nozzle on is easy. It's just basically screw one off and screw another one on, and making sure that once you've taken the nozzle off, there's no loose particles in there once you've taken this pipe off. Pretty straightforward, and then just run some more filament through again. As my old ma used to say, it's important to keep your bed clean, and that is important as well. Keep this dust and oil free. If it's got any dust on it or oil, your print won't stick, especially obviously the first stages are the most important. Once it's stuck on there, you can be pretty sure it's going to stay stuck on. It's just that initial print, that initial layer. You need to also make sure with these machines that you've got a clean run through of the filament. If there's any kinks in this, what it'll do is the extruder will struggle to pull it through, and you'll get stops in the filament coming through here. So you'll get little gaps in your print, or parts that aren't bonding or stringiness. Mine is set on the top here because I haven't really got space at the side. A lot of people put them at the side there. I put mine on top, and then I made these units for it to run through with bearings. Doesn't have to have bearings, but just to give it a nice transit through the system. And the temperature of the PLA can vary, I believe, from manufacturer to manufacturer. It's not a huge difference, but people have experimented with different PLAs from different manufacturers. My stuff's generic stuff. I think I've got a couple of branded ones. I can't remember the brand of it off the top of my head now. But this generic stuff, the sweet spot for this machine seems to be 200 for the nozzle and 50 for the bed. I know it's reading 51, but I've set the bed to 50, and that seems to be the sweet spot for this machine. So when you get one of these machines, you get a file off Thingiverse or GrabCAD, or you make your own, you then have to put it in what's called a slicer. That's a piece of software which you can adjust the parameters, and it reads the file you've made and generates a G code for it, and that G code is your CNC pattern, basically, of where the head's going to go. In the slicer as well, you can also set parameters like the resolution. So at the minute mine's at the finest and it's at 0.2 of a millimetre, so each step up is 0.2 of a millimetre, which I think is pretty incredible, really. And as you can see from these parts, it makes a really nice smooth print. When I first got this, I was messing about with some of the lower resolutions, and I think I can't remember what that was, but look how crap that is compared to that. Now this, obviously, this resolution was quite quick at printing. The finer the resolution, the longer it's going to take to print, and this print here is going to take 8 hours. This one is a bit bigger, and this one took 10 hours yesterday. But you know, you come in the morning, put your print on, and you just forget about it and just check it every now and then. And 10 hours later seems like a long time, and you've got one of these or whatever you're printing. Obviously the size of things determines the level of time as well as the resolution. So this one's already been going 5.5 hours nearly, and it's only 64% done, so it's got a little way to go yet. So be interesting to see. Hopefully it'll come out and I won't have to go through this process again. I'm building a big bypass jet engine, which is a free file on Thingiverse as well. It's the whole engine. It looks really smart. So I bought this, like I said, for doing stuff in my workshop, little projects and prototyping bits and bobs and just bits of fun. So this will be a nice little sort of model for the workshop when it's done, hopefully. I think that's about it, really. If you've got any questions, just fire them down below. I'm not an expert on 3D printers. I can only give you my experiences on this particular one so far. Ask away down below there, and I'll see if I can answer them. There's tons of information on YouTube and places like that on 3D printers. Like I say, I bought this one because out of all the ones I looked at for the budget price, this one seemed to come out on top. So for 200 quid so far, you know, it's been brilliant. I can't fault it at all. The only thing that is a little bit annoying is the file is a little SD card. Now I've got fingers like pig's tits, so it's a bit of a faff to get that in. It would have been nice to be a USB, but it comes with that SD card and a little USB adapter to fit in your PC or wherever you're putting your files. But just that little bit's a bit annoying. That's it, really. That's it. Some people have these machines in garages, cold garages, and then they have to then make a box for it to keep the temperature inside at a good temperature. Apparently these machines can be quite affected by the ambient temperature, so if it's in a cold garage, I believe sometimes the PLA can struggle to adhere to the previous layer, I believe. So some people build little perspex boxes around them. I don't need to do that. I'm fortunate I've got mine in a nice warm workshop, so that's something to bear in mind as well. But it's not rocket science to make a a box and a Perspex, couple of Perspex doors on there. So that's it. Yeah, any questions, fire them down below, I'll try and answer. I'm not sure if I mentioned before, I'm not paid by anyone to do this review or YouTube or render. This is just my own personal experiences. I purchased this machine, I didn't get it free or anything like you see on some of these YouTube clips, so it's my own personal experience. Seems to be working fine. It's a good machine so far for 200 quid. I don't think you can go wrong, eh? Anyhow, cheers guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, fire in below. Cheers, bye.